The vampire Lestat is back in this 2002 adaptation of Anne Rice's Queen of the Damned. After waking from his slumber, Lestat finds that the world has changed, and he couldn't be happier. Tired of roaming within the shadows, Lestat takes in a down-on-their-luck garage band and sends them to stardom by revealing to the public that he is, in fact, a creature of the night. Unfortunately, his newfound freedom angers some of the other more traditional vampires, all the while awakening the grandmommy of all vampires, Queen Acacia. Now, I had seen Interview with a Vampire just a little while before I saw this movie, which wasn't that long ago, and I found myself really liking it, which is sort of strange considering that Tom Cruise is in one of the leading roles. In any case, when I heard that Queen of the Damned was actually a sequel, I got excited. Yeah, I know, I've never read the books, I'm ashamed to call myself a vampire fan. But that's not the point of this video. So anyway, I looked up the trailer, it looked fun, exciting, original, and just a good movie. So, I sat down, I watched it, and... well... you'll get what I mean in a minute. Now, as I said before, the movie starts off when Lestat takes in a bunch of wannabe rockers and propels them into stardom. How does he do this? Because, ladies and gentlemen, he is just that awesome. Now, don't think I'm making fun of this part, because I'm not. This portion of the movie was actually the one part that I thoroughly enjoyed. I mean, think about it. A vampire hiding in plain sight as the head of an underground metal band. He's saying to the public that he is a vampire, and yet everyone thinks it's a gimmick. This, my friends, is pure genius. Thank you, Miss Rice. Another part I really liked was when those two slutty idiots got devoured because they threw themselves blindly at Lestat. I don't know, every time I see this scene, I can't help but imagine these girls as twitards. I mean, just think about it for a second.
Oh, you're a vampire. That means you sparkle in the sun, right? You'd never do anything to hurt us, right?
Dear Miss Meyer, please send more idiots. Those last ones were delicious. Signed, Lestat.
Anyway, another part I really liked was when we got to see Lestat's origin. We got to see how he was made, we got to look into his mind. We also got a really nice scene of where he comes to terms with the fact that he can't be known to the world of light. It gives real dynamics to the character, and it's something that I really, really enjoy. However, these are really the only redeeming qualities about the movie, sad to say. And with that being said, allow me to introduce you to the cast of characters that make up Queen of the Damned. Now, we've already talked about Lestat. We know he's the main character, and we know he's the most interesting. Unfortunately, he's the only interesting character throughout the entire film. The only other likable character is Marius, and that's because he's Lestat's father figure. Some of these characters don't even have names. Who are these people, and what are they doing in this movie? But the biggest offender in the characters who aren't interesting is this bitch. So apparently Anne Rice figured that Lestat needed a better romance than, Louis. So in Queen of the Damned, she develops Jessie, a red-headed young woman who works in, what the hell ever this place is. Now, I'm more than willing to ignore the fact that Lestat is the last kind of character who would actually get into a loving and caring relationship if Jessie was a believable partner for him. The only problem is, she's not. One minute she's after him, and the next minute she's practically throwing out her jugular for him. I mean, she's no different than the other bimbos who threw themselves at his feet. The only reason Lestat likes her in the first place is because she knows about the violin girl, making her special in some strange way. And here's a very interesting thing I picked up on while I saw romantic scenes between these two characters. Let's see if you know what I'm talking about.
I'm not as precious as you think. Do it. Please. Let me be with you. Let me know everything.
And now, a comparison.
I dream about being with you forever.
Forever. And you're ready right now?
Yes.
Is it not enough just to have a long and happy life with me?
You can see my irritation, I'm sure. Oh, and let's not forget, kiddies, Queen of the Damned was made into a movie in 2002. 3 years before Twilight was even published. Beef much, Stephanie Meyer? Anyway, enough about redheaded Bella. Let's move on to Queen Acacia. Now, you'd think if the movie was named after you, you'd get a little screen time to develop as character. But nope. Not only does Acacia not have the same amount of screen time as, say, Lestat or Jessie, but they pawn her off as an antagonistic force more than an antagonistic character. Now, this can work if your objective is to make the person into an antagonistic force, but quite frankly, I think the movie makers were being lazy and didn't want to show her with much of a personality. This is because, and I really think this is the case here, they just wanted to show off that skimpy outfit in a little scenario I like to call Catwoman syndrome. Which brings me to my next point. The villain is not threatening. Sure, she could make people spontaneously combust in midair, and yes, she's supposed to be the mother of all vampires, but I'm way too distracted by the way she moves in order to care about that. Now, I'm not blaming this on the actor's choices, I'm blaming this on bad direction. They tried to make her look elegant and suave, but all they managed to do was make her look like a retarded snake baby with limbs. Oh, and there was also something about Jessie's aunt in there, but she's on screen for a maximum amount of 20 minutes, so in effect, we don't really care. And as for the special effects, they look like they were done from the reject editors from The Matrix. Not only does every vampire have a really annoying blur streak that follows them around constantly, but every fight scene is in super slow motion. All in all, it wasn't a terrible movie, but it wasn't great either. If you think about renting it, I suggest so for mindless entertainment and nothing more. It's great if you like to turn off for a couple of hours, and it's a good way to kill time. Plus you get to see Lestat without a shirt on, which is always nice.